Hello, happy November 1st. It is officially this time of year. I cannot believe it. We were passing out candy last night for Halloween and we were in sweats. It was so chilly compared to last year at this time. It got down to 42 degrees here last night in Savannah, which is crazy. I actually have plants that need to come in still. Last year I didn't take plants in until the end of November, but I am leaving a good chunk of them out there this year. I am going to make a video though and take you along with me through some of that process of cleaning up my outdoor plants and deciding what is going to come inside and what I'm going to grow out there all winter. And then it is Saturday, so I have a lot of stuff to get done today. I have to water my plant room. I have some house chores I need to get done. I have some potting up to do. So I figured I would film this walkthrough with you guys while I do some of this stuff off camera. So I'm gonna start here with my hoyas first since I recently did this and this area is pretty clean. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this walkthrough. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this around and show you and update you on my hoya area. Oh, the only change I did make was with the handles. One of you mentioned that I had them upside down, the Polynura handles here. Yeah, it's totally supposed to go like this, so I did just flip that around. So everyone, like I said, I feel like is doing pretty well. This first shelf has some of my favorite Hoyas and some of my newer ones. I want to go ahead and start with this Madara Snow Angel, this Carnosa, because I finally have a growth point on it, you guys. I have been waiting. So right there are the first new set of leaves. I hope that you can see okay. I may have to shut the grow lights off because I feel like sometimes it's hard to see with the lights on. It like blurs it out. Right there, the first set of leaves coming in. And it's rooting up nicely in here. I've had this Hoya for probably close to 2 months and I got it as a cutting. And so it's taken about that long for the growth point to finally emerge. Definitely a slow one for sure. Might be a little too dark. This is another new one that I got. This is the inner variegated Caudata. Now this one I'm rooting in a mix of perlite, stratum, and pon. And I do see, I think, a little bit of root right here. That's what that one's looking like. This is like the tip of the plant that, you know, when it came to me, that tip will probably dry up until it actually starts growing. But so far the cutting is doing okay. I might just have to bring them to you because I feel like the grow lights, it's so hard to show you. This is the dragon egg that I got, a new one. It had this leaf and this leaf, and it put out a new one. And look how pretty she is. Right here. She is stunning. She has some splash that is forming, but I love that texture, like the veining on that. I was hoping this middle node would shoot out some leaves, which it still might, but I'm glad that she's at least growing. I haven't had this one for too long, maybe like 6 weeks, something like that. The Hoya Matilda Gray Fairy is growing. I do think I want to prop her soon. I was hoping this node down here would start growing, but it doesn't look like it is. I feel like it's just growing this one long vine. But I'm gonna wait until I can get caught up with the props that I do have. So maybe in a couple more weeks, I think I might chop back to like here and maybe take like 3 nodes. But she is so silvery. Yeah, this is probably like one of my favorite new Hoyas that I've gotten. I did this one with you guys in a video, my Matilda variegated. Those extra like growth points are starting to grow and everything. So I have so many new vines coming in, so I can't wait to prop this one once it actually starts growing some more. But she is doing very well. Okay, so this is my favorite Hoya leaf right now. Look at her. So this is Hoya Gunning Gading Ghost. And so I had chopped her here and she spit out this leaf post chop. Like, what the heck is this thing? It is huge. It is so stunning. And then I have another growth point coming in here. And then from chopping, I have a growth point coming in down here, which put out this really silvery leaf. This is slowly becoming one of my favorite Hoyas. You get the veining and then you get the splash, and this one's actually closest to the light, so it's getting that little bit of sun stressing. You can see it on the back side as well. It's so pretty. Seriously, one of my favorites right now. I love this Hoya so much. My Hoya undulata splash is growing a bit more. These are the new set of leaves on her. But she's a really pretty Hoya. I like my smaller Hoyas, but for some reason, like these really big leaves are so unique. And I love the splash, of course. I'll probably wait a bit before I chop her again. I have this long vine that I kind of wrapped around here because it was growing up in the grow light. So I'm gonna see how many new leaves I can get on that before I decide to cut back. But I have chopped her back, I think twice before down in here. I actually have the trellis just hanging on the outside of the pot like that in here. It's not even in the pot because these don't fit the tiny pots that well. It's that one. And then probably one of my other favorites in here is my Matilde splash here. I do have a lot of peduncles coming in, like so many, but they haven't actually grown yet. But I'm really excited to see them form. There's some there, right there. There's one here. There's more here. There's so many peduncles. I know the flowers look really pretty. There's some there. That's pretty much everything in here. Some of my other new ones are growing. This latifolia silver is pushing a growth point right down there finally. It's like right there. And then this one here, Pimenta liana albo marginata. It's pushing some new growth. This one I talked about I liked because it's like the sheen on it is really, I just love the way that it feels and the way that it looks. So that's pretty much it for the Hoyas in here. I have these two, the Nabawaniensis variegated and Crassiopetalata variegated. Those are growing back since I had chopped them last. And then I have some of my bigger ones on trellises down here on the bottom. But everyone seems happy so far since, you know, being in the cabinet. I had repotted that Caudata recently, that one there, and it looks like that one's doing okay. Close that one up. On top of the cabinet, I have a Polynura silver. I had just chopped the edge, so that hasn't, I don't think that's given me a growth point yet to come back. I don't think so. So that will regrow. Oh, a ladybug just flew on my arm. Where are you going? Okay, he actually just flew off my arm. He just went flying. And then the Polynura regular, I actually have some new growth here, and there's a new growth here. And so it seems like it's doing okay in this spot. It's getting more ambient light, you know, from the grow lights that we hung up there, and it's getting a little bit from the other one. And I have the overhead light on, so it's a little bit brighter. But if I turn the overhead light off, and I have the ring light right there shining, it's pretty dark, so it doesn't get a ton of light. But it seems happy so far. I skipped watering it. I don't think I've given it water in about 10 days, but I might wait a little bit longer because it's definitely not going to use the water up as quickly in this spot. This one, this Hoya discipule, I have on the outside of the cabinet on that stand. I do need to repot that one. I chopped it back so many times, and so it took a hit, and I had actually taken some cuttings to restart a new plant, and those actually rotted, so I had to toss them, unfortunately. So I'm gonna let my original one regrow and get it repotted and refreshed, and once it regrows, I'll take more cuttings from that one because I probably will end up starting a second plant. And everyone in this cabinet is doing okay. When I had put these all here, I had chopped so many of them, so they're going to take a bit to regrow. Like I had chopped my Wilburgrave silver back. I had chopped some of these guys back. You can see that Hoya Bella back there is really short now. I have a lot of peduncles, but I don't think I actually have any blooms to show you guys today, which is kind of sad. And then this Hoya Paradisi is my favorite, one of my favorites right now. This is a new strand that started growing. There's a ladybug. Do you see them? There's actually a few. They really like the top part of the grow lights. There's usually one hiding in here. Yep, there he goes. But I may end up propping this one and let this regrow because this one has the peduncles. I have one down there and then I have one right here. And the blooms on this are so pretty, so I'm dying to see those come in. So hopefully, oh, there's a peduncle there too. I didn't see that one. But I'm gonna let this one grow and then I'll probably prop that back before I end up propping this one. This is my New Guinea ghost, and I do have a new growth point coming in there, so I feel like it's enjoying the spot. And this is a Lacinosa zebra skin. It has really dark leaves with splash. I put that one there, and then this Polynura here, I feel like is doing well in this spot. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 growth points. No, 6. This is a new growth point on that one. Right there, so that one's doing very well. I just watered this one the other day. But look at those roots. I think Polynura roots are so cool. So that one seems happy so far. And over here on this one, I have my linearis. On this side, I have the 2. So my original one is in this UFO planter, and then I have the bigger one here. I skipped watering the bigger one, but I might water it soon. It looks a little bit limp than it normally does. It usually dries pretty quickly, but I wanted to give it some time to adjust. I actually didn't know that Hoya linearis was a fall bloomer, and it likes a period of cooler air to help promote blooming. So I wonder if that's why mine never bloomed like my original one, because it lived in my warm plant room for so long. I had peduncles on it at one point and then they just never did anything. So now that they're out here, I wonder if it'll ever bloom for me, because it is getting less light over here, and now that the temps are getting a bit cooler, I wonder if I'll get peduncles at some point. I'm seeing Hoya linearis blooms all over social media, and I'm just like, they're so pretty. I just can't wait for blooms on mine. So hopefully I get those one year. There's a ladybug up there too, crawling. And one of my other favorite ones is my Hoya Matrata silver. This one was imported was it last year or earlier this year? I don't remember. But look at this new set of leaves, you guys. Let me actually take it down and show you. Look how freaking beautiful she is. I had chopped her here, and then this growth point here came in. And so this one has this set of leaves, and then this set of leaves right here, which are just stunning. That purple sheen on this plant, and then it kind of wraps all the way around here. So I'm waiting for kind of some more leaves, and then I have a little leaf here that came in with another growth point, and I have another growth point coming in here. So I do have growth points coming in multiple spots, but I just love that color. Again, this is probably one of my favorite Hoyas because it's so unique, and I just love the purple sheen that it's giving me. Oh, it's so pretty. In this cabinet here, I have some of my newer Hoyas that are starting to grow. I have this one here. This one starts with a W. No, it starts with a Y. That there. And so the blooms on this are so unique and cool, so I cannot wait. I know it'll be a while. This one here is starting to grow in some new leaves. Hoya Mina is growing some new leaves there in the back. This Lacinosa violet is starting to grow. Hoya carrii here is growing a new growth point in. And some of these were just cutting. So I have like Hoya Lima silver, I have a pubicalic silver ghost, and some other little cuttings that are starting to grow a little bit and root. So these will probably stay in this stratum pond perlite mix until I actually get some good roots, and then I'll transfer them. And I have some of my others in here. I put my Polynura outer in there so it could get some better light. I feel like it would appreciate more light because it is more variegated than putting that one on top of my cabinet. So I'm gonna let it hang out in there and grow a bit before I chop that one back. Are you cold? Yeah, is it cold? It's chilly out there. Yeah. Okay, this is a quarantine box, and I wasn't going to share these with you guys yet, but I did get 2 more Hoya that I'm going to share with you. These are like brand new that I got within the past week, but they're in isolation, so they're gonna stay in here a bit. This one is a cutting, and shoot, I forget the name, but I will put the name of this one on the screen. That's what the leaves look like. I did just get a cutting so I could grow it out, but I really like the leaves on this one. It's like a silvery, ghosty, minty color. There, you can see it a little bit more in the light a little bit. So I'm really excited to grow this one out. And this one just came, was it the day before yesterday? It's not focusing, it's focusing on the Scrub Daddy. Okay, so look how big this leaf is. So this one is Hoya, it's another Hoya caudata, but it's the Argene, that one there. And so this is exactly how it came shipped to me. I haven't done anything with it, but this huge leaf is stunning. And then this one looks like it's the newer leaf. It's a little bit lighter in color, and then it has a little bit of a tendril there. This popped up on my search last week and I had to get it. I love like the rippling, the ruffles that the edges are doing too. Right, she is so pretty. I am in love. So those are a couple sneak peek Hoyas. I'm gonna put them back in isolation. I have another plant here that is in quarantine, but I don't want to share that one just yet. So those are going to go back in there. I actually have an alocasia here that was in quarantine, but it is good to go back into my plant room. I just need to figure out where it's going to go. This is the Chanterary, the Aria, and it did shock when I put it in here. I did this in my own time. It lost the 2 baby leaves, and this one has a little bit of crisping here. It's not really getting ideal conditions being in this little case and these little grow lights. I have one, I have 2 up here, but I have it open so it's getting ambient conditions now. I just need to move it in there, so I have to do that yet for that guy. I ended up putting this lamp here. We had this by the Hoya area over there and we weren't really using it. So I actually changed the bulb to a grow light. There's just a cheap one in there. And so the grow light kind of hits this Cebu blue and a little bit of the anthuriums here on the end. But I just manually turn this off and on every day. It's not like if I forget to turn it on, it's fine. But I really think it brought something extra to this space. And I ended up putting this one here. This one was in my bedroom because the calathea that I had here that I found at the big box store is actually outside right now. It started going downhill. It rapidly, I don't know what happened. I think I may have overwatered it and then it started like turning yellow and blotchy. All the leaves started to die on it, and I actually found a mealybug down in the stem. So I'm like, no, 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 we are not doing this. It's out there somewhere, but I'm gonna go over these plants that are out here when I do my outdoor video here this month. But it's on that shelf right there. But I love this Cebu blue. This is the trailing one, and then my, my one that I have climbing is in my plant room. But I thought this one looked really good here. I really liked the look of it, and chai doesn't seem to be bothering this one, which is good because sometimes if there's plants that he can kind of reach, he gets a little curious. So yeah, the greenhouse was up here, so I took that down, and then the anthuriums that were in the greenhouse I put on this riser here. There are a lot of the smaller ones. I have Warocqueanum, I have some Michelle and Brielle seedlings. I have my Carla rehab, my Forgetii rehab. I have a couple cartel plants that are just not wanting to grow. And then, yeah, I have some other seedlings here. These ones I need to get potted up. They've been in moss. And then this variegated one, it keeps doing this. Like it'll spit out a new leaf and then it crisp up like this. So I think it's a humidity issue. I'm thinking this one wants high humidity. It is pushing another new leaf here. Like this one here was fine. It was very beautiful. It's my only variegated anthurium. And maybe because this one was like all variegated, maybe that's why. So I'm gonna have to clip that one away, but we'll see what this one decides to do. But it's like, I really don't want to provide high humidity for a certain anthurium. I was really hoping this one would do fine in ambient. I'm gonna watch and see what the next couple of leaves do, but if it keeps doing the same thing, then I may have to move this because I really want this one to get big, but I'm sad that it keeps doing that with the new growth. Oh, this one right here is really pretty. I have some red crystal linum hybrids like this one here and this one. Oh, this one's a regular red crystal, but this one here is a Carla in red crystal, which I really like. This was a little like one leaf seedling that I bought, like that original leaf down there, and it's really starting to take shape. I really, really love this one. This one is a BVAP, Carla and BVAP. This one's really nice. I have some of my seedlings here. This Carla Black Yay hybrid, it gave me an inflow. It's the first one though, so I didn't do anything with it. I'm just gonna let it do its thing, and then I'll probably cut that off. And this one I think came down with a few spider mites. It got some damage. But those are gone now. And I have another, oh, ladybug. I have another one back there. This one I really like too. This one I got as a seedling, but it's really starting to grow. This is a Doc F2 crossed with a Fort Sherman Ralph Linum. I just think the leaf shape is so pretty on it, and it's so dark too. So this one has been one of my favorites lately. I still don't know what a lot of these are unless I look at the tag, because I just got so many at once and I definitely went overboard. My Delta Force gave me an inflow here. I didn't do anything with this one either. I'm gonna, since it's the first inflow, I'm gonna let that one die off. But she's definitely grown a lot this summer. And then I have a anthurium down there in pond that gave me its first inflow. So again, I'm not doing anything with those. This is my more narrow pally. This is the newest leaf. It's pretty long on it. Goes all the way down there. It's getting ready to push another new leaf, and then this is like the third or fourth inflow on this one, but look how tiny this inflow is. You see how tiny it is? Like it's barely, I don't know, like a few inches long. It's so tiny. And comparing that to the inflow on this pally, like this one is insane. Like look at this one. So I did recently take all the pollen off of this one, and I have it in my freezer because it's pushing another inflow here, and I'm going to try and self it. So once this one is receptive, I will use the pollen and try and cross it again. I still need to repot this one. I just haven't done it yet. I haven't had the time to actually repot it. But this is the newest leaf that is still expanding on this one, and it is going to be huge, you guys. It's probably going to end up touching the floor down there. Like it's still very much growing. I'm curious how big that one's going to get. There is a couple ladybugs still hanging out on this one right there. But yeah, I'm excited to try and cross this again, because last time it did take, it just aborted. And I think it aborted because I underwatered it by a day. But now that it is a bit more cooler, maybe it won't be drying out as much, but I still want to go ahead and get it repotted at some point. I have my King of Spades. I have this one and that one. Those are all King of Spades. These were new leaves recently. I have a Carla here. My Clarinervium, I'm not going to pollinate for a while. It has an inflow. But my Podato radiatum that I crossed it with twice, the original plant is down in there. I have like a little stump of it left. And then this is the hybrid that I created with my Clarinervium and Podato radiatum, this one here. I just think it's such a cool looking anthurium. And I do have this inflow that's been pollinated since May. I crossed this with my Magnificum there, so it's been hanging on ever since. It's definitely taking a long time, but I know Clarinervium takes a while. I have a Black Widow there that's doing okay. It has a new leaf coming in there. And I have another like Dock Block anthurium there, and right there, look at that pretty new leaf. I have been getting more crisping lately. I've noticed like some of these are getting like, I don't know what the spots are on that one, and I have some crisping happening. So I don't know if it's like a humidity issue, or I don't think I underwatered these guys, although I could have. It does bug me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, but I know it's very common, especially when anthuriums aren't getting like ideal conditions. I mean, for the most part, they do seem to be doing okay. Oh, I rehabbed one of my other ones. That one there is rehabbing in water. That's like Forgetii and Doriakii. And then I only have these three left in pond. I have the big one here that's in pond, my Magnificum, and that one there. So I'll probably leave that one in pond for now, but I think I'm going to end up taking the rest out of pond and moving to a soil mix. So yeah, I'm very curious how they're going to hold up for me this winter and how they're going to do. And obviously once some of these start growing, then I can rearrange again, but everything's pretty much taken up on these shelves. Some of these are definitely getting bigger. And I really don't want to put anything down here because of the cats. I don't really want anything on the bottom shelf. But some of these are duplicates still. Like I have multiple of some of these, so I'll probably look at downsizing a few more. I don't think I'll go back to being anthurium crazy like I was earlier this year. It's hard to say for sure because sometimes it just hits you all of a sudden, but I can definitely say it's Hoyas right now for sure, 100%. But I love all the ones that I have, and yeah, I'm just looking to refine my current collection. And over here at the window, I have a couple orchids and a couple air plants. And I have some props of my begonia here in the window, my regular begonia maculata. And then those two orchids are doing well. One of the strands on that one died since repotting. It had 2 bloom spikes. And that one there has a little new bloom spike coming in. One right down in there.
Hey, Jai. Hi, buddies. Yeah. You napping? Yeah.
My staghorn fern is loving life. Look at that basil frond that it's growing in. Isn't that cool? I haven't done anything with this guy. It's still in its original pot, but I love this plant so much. It just is so happy here, and I love looking at it, and it's such an easygoing plant. I bottom water it once a week. I just add a little bit of water in the saucer tray down there, and that's it. My big Makoyana is doing so well, like it's growing a ton. I do need to repot it, and I feel so bad. A lot of my Maranta calatheas I've neglected all summer. I meant to make a dedicated video repotting them all, and I just didn't get around to it. And now that we are creeping into the colder season, I'm like, I kind of want to wait until spring. I feel like she would be fine to wait until spring. And she's obviously happy. She's given me a ton of leaves lately. She did kind of hit a stagnant point over summer where I felt like I wasn't getting any new growth. But definitely she's growing, I would say, a lot more lately in the past few weeks. So maybe it has something to do with the change in season. But yeah, I love her, and she's been with me for so long. So hands down, she's my favorite. So that is everyone here pretty much in the living space. I think what I'm going to do is come back on with you a bit later this kind of like late afternoon. It's currently heading towards 2 o'clock. So maybe like 4-ish, I will take you into my plant room, and I'll probably do some updates and water in there with you at the same time and knock that out. But in the meantime, I'm actually going to do some house chores and clean and everything. So I'll be back on with you in a bit, and we'll get finished up here. Somebody's getting sleepy. It's actually heading towards the evening now. It's a little bit later. I have been cleaning up, and I actually just made 1 bag of leaves. I had trimmed some plants and some dead leaves and everything, so I filled up an entire bag. I feel like my poor plants in here have been super neglected. Oh, I see ducks. Do you see them at the bird feeder? Look how cute they are. The geese were here earlier, but we have like 2 geese that have been hanging out the last few weeks, and some little ducks. Oh, they're so cute. He's so cute. Okay, back to plants. But yeah, I gave these a little wipe down and a good drink. I feel like they go through a period of where they just go dormant, and then once spring is here, they start growing again. I feel like they get growth spurts every couple of months. They all need to be repotted except for this Maranta, because I did this one earlier this year. But that one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 plants that are still in their original soil, and I have not repotted them yet. Those Tenanthes, yeah, the Marantas, the Orbifolia needs to be repotted. And these are some of my plants that are like trailing pothos and philodendron that I kind of put in here when I made that anthurium shelf, and they're just kind of chilling here. I do have a mistletoe cactus here. This is the only strand that had survived, and then I moved the Thanksgiving cactus in here. This is the all green one, and then the variegated one is in my plant room. I haven't noticed any buds forming yet, and it's very dehydrated because it was thirsty. I had kind of neglected the plants in here, like I said, the last couple of weeks. When I was doing my Hoya shelf, that kind of took priority, and so I was a little bit behind on watering these guys. I do want to redo this space at some point. I feel like curtains, and I want to just redo and make this like a nice little area in here. But this will be a project for the spring. They're just gonna chill here this winter, unless I decide to repot some of these this winter. Which I may, but for now they're just going to chill here. And then moving into the bathroom, again, I want to redo this area as well. So that golden pothos is still in water. It's very much rooted. I just need to get it potted up. But it was hanging on the wall on that hook, and I have some like root spots where the vines were stuck to the wall. So I have to like sand that and repaint over it. And I'm not actually going to hang that pothos back up. I kind of like that it's trailing a bit. When I get some time to actually pot it up, I think I'm going to actually put it where the Maranta is and let it kind of trail. And then if it gets too long, I'll just trim away the ends, because I don't like that it keeps attaching itself to the wall. That Maranta, I just chopped some vines off that one. This one's looking really good, this Zabrina, but she is very root bound and she needs an upsize. That Maranta is doing okay. And then I put my Tenanthe Burl Marksy here. And the only one that I'm going to get rid of, I cleared up a nursery pot, which is really pretty. I'll probably make this a pot for my Hoyas, is this Calathea. I'm going to toss this. I have a big thing of pon out in the garage that I need to like sanitize, but this is a Calathea I had tried to grow in pon and it struggled. So I think it's time to say goodbye to that officially. So yeah, just the 5 plants in here for now, and I'm really excited to redo this space. I honestly might tackle this winter. I think this would be a fun little project. I do have quite a bit of wall space up here, and again, this wall over here. I think I'm gonna hang some shelves and do some like photos maybe. I think I'll take that hook down, and I might actually move this railing because we don't really use that. And yeah, I'm excited for this space. So I'll probably tackle this first and then the bedroom in the spring. Those are the 3 Hoyas that I had moved out here, and then I still have the plants that I bought at Lowe's recently. I have the asparagus fern out here and the Matilde. And then I have my oxalis. My Thai constellation that I did have out here actually rotted. The plants that I put out here, honestly, they don't really do that well because they get too much rain whenever it does rain, and then there's just not enough light coming in. So I'm just rethinking what can actually go out here for next year. And then I have 2 ficus plants, and I need to like trim up my alocasia. It's severely leaning, and I need to get it like restaked. And that caladium's going dormant, but I'm going to do this, like I said, for a separate video, get this cleaned up for winter, and we'll also do the front porch as well. Everyone is doing well on the front porch. My husband moved the table to the other side because of the outlet, and all of his decorations needed to be plugged in. So that'll be on the side through Christmas. And yeah, I'm excited to kind of get this tidied up and everything for winter. And we do have some repotting. I think I'll go ahead and get done with these guys as well. Okay, I'm here in my shop room now, and I don't really have too many updates to share in here. It's a bit of a mess, honestly, like my bins and stuff. I'm working on potting up. I have so much potting up and everything to do, and organizing. That Rudsta was out in the dining room, so I just have it in here right now, but I'm actually going to, I think, put it in place of that shelf. So I'm gonna have to rework some wiring so I can have the lights and fans working and everything. I'm not doing a restock this coming week, so I think I'll take a day and actually rearrange a bit in here and get that done and focus on potting plants, because that's what I really need to do. But I do have some plants in here that are mine that I'll go ahead and update you on. This corm has been staring at me for like 2 weeks now. I'm very tempted to take it off. There's a corm there, and there's also one right here. This is one of the Albo Regal shields. The newest leaf is less variegated, so I'm hoping it doesn't revert like my other ones. This is actually all the way dry. I actually need to upsize this. I need to add some water in here. It's in a tiny thing of pond, I might have to do that soon. And I might pluck this corm off because it's a little bit bigger. I didn't want to pluck them off too soon. But yeah, I think I need to upsize soon, and I am getting a new leaf here. It's so bright in here, my camera doesn't like it. But yeah, I have some mother plants here that I might downsize a couple of them. I have some syngonium. My monsteras I recently chopped. I have some props here, and the rest of the props are in my plant room on that table. And yeah, I have a bin of plants down here that are technically like my plants that I'm going to either add back in or restart. I need to go through them, and yeah, like I said, I have so much work and potting up to do. I was potting up yesterday, so it's kind of messy over here and just all disorganized. But I do have a little bin here that I will go through. This I'm actually going to add back into my plant. This is Hoya serpens silver. I had taken some props, and this is all the props this is how much it's grown. And my mother plant is like one long string, and I feel like it hasn't really grown a whole lot. So what I'm going to do is actually combine the two so that I can have a bigger plant. And then once these grow some more, then I will eventually propagate. Oh look, I have a little peduncle right there. It's not going to focus. There it goes. Do you see it? A little peduncle right there. I feel like the silver is held up well for the most part. I do see one strand that's kind of reverting there. And there's one that has like a little bit more splash. And then this one over here is still pretty silver. Okay, I'm going to move this way because those lights are super bright. This is another one of my seedlings I kept back. It's been really slow at growing, but the leaves are different. They're a different shape. So this is my Forgetii and Doriakii crossed with Magnificum hybrids that I created. The leaves are more daggery. They're like sharp pointed. It's the only one that really did this. So I kept it back just to see, you know, what it would do. I think this is the newest leaf here. But yeah, it's interesting how the shape is like that. This one was a little bit ruffly as well. So I have 4 of these that I've kept back for me. I still have some seedlings that are left, but I'm pretty much gone, like sold out of them. But yeah, I thought this one was cool, so I kept this one. Another one I was restarting was my Monstera Peru variegated. I had chopped my mother plant all the way back, so this was one prop that I set aside. This one doesn't have as much color or as much variegation, but I think it just is taking a while to burn in because the yellow sometimes takes a while to show up on it. I have a few other props, but this will probably be my main plant that I may end up propping again anyway, because I feel like I want like a bushier plant than one long vine. But yeah, I still have this plant. I still like it. My other one though was it just needed chopped back. Sometimes I just feel like I have to restart certain plants if I don't like the way that they're growing. I have another Hoya Jasminka that I am actually going to just keep this one. I have a couple other props that are just now starting to grow, and then my other plant out there isn't really growing a whole lot. This one does seem to be growing pretty well, so I think I'll just add this back into my mother plant and then let that grow a bit, and then I'll take some more cuttings. But this one looks like it's producing a lot of like splash on the leaves, so yeah, I'm gonna hang on to this one. I also have a couple Hoya that I'm restarting. This one here is Snow Leopard, I believe. It's very splashy. It's a lacunosa. I have already sold like a few props of this one, like a few small plants this size, but this will be my new mother plant. I just held one back for me. I was going to completely get rid of it because I feel like it wasn't growing, it wasn't doing well, and then all of a sudden I decided to chop the plant all the way back, and I created I think 3 plants like this, and it just started growing like crazy. So I really like the splash on that one. So this is Snow Leopard, and this one is Silver Snow, I believe. Snow Leopard, Silver Snow. It's another Lacinosa. That's what that one looks like. So these will be 2 mother plants that I need to actually put back in my Hoya area. I just haven't done it yet. I honestly had no intention of keeping these, but after seeing the props grow out, I'm like, you know what? No, I don't feel like they're like super common Hoyas, like super common Lacinosas, and I do really like Silver hoyas. I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep these. And the only other plant that I have in here, so I have a main one in my plant room. I have several props of Monstera adansonii, but it's the variegated, but a lot of the leaves are turning yellow, so I don't know what's going on with that. I had started several propagations and all of them look like they have some kind of nutrient deficiency, because I'm gonna have to chop all these props all the way back, because I was going to sell them as like a 2-3 leaf prop, and then they started yellowing. I mean, I'm feeding them with my nutrients every time I water like I normally do. Maybe they just don't like this propagation mix. I'm not sure. So I have this one and I have this one here that is actually producing a lot more white, but same thing, this one is doing a lot of yellowing. My regular Monstera adansonii, like my all green one, it would only yellow when I noticed like it had a nutrient deficiency, but then it like corrected itself. I would think that once a week feeding would be enough. So it just makes me think that maybe it doesn't like the substrate. So I might change it and see what it does. I used to have one of these back in the day a long time ago, and then it turned all white and I had propped it back to the last node and it just went full elbow and I couldn't grow it. So I bought another one. I would say I've had it a few months. I mean, it's growing fast. Like I said, I've had several props. Yeah, but for some reason it's just turning it very chlorotic. So I'll have to figure that out. So they're all in a bin like this, and I need to actually take care of some of these. And then the only other one I kept back for me is one of my Florida Ghost restarts. My Florida Ghost in my plant room, I had chopped it all the way back to the last node. It's just now starting to regrow, but the growth is super tiny. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to keep one of my props and regrow that plant, because this one's coming out with some pretty minty, like all white ghosty leaves. And I just love restarting plants back too, because I feel like once they get so big, I miss the stage where they're small like this, and I like restarting some plants and regrowing them back. So I will eventually get him put back into my plant room, but it is pretty crowded in there right now with all of the Monstera cuttings and everything. And I just feel like some plants are just really overgrown still. So I'm looking forward to making this winter a focus on my collection and really trimming plants back. I plan to like sell, like I said, all throughout winter, but I'm definitely going to slow down, and it's really hard to ship plants when it's below freezing. You know, plants don't ship well when it's cold like that. So I am selling. I'm just going to cut back a little bit, and that way I can really focus on just growing. And that way when spring gets here, I'll have like a good selection to just continually ship out. So I'm looking forward to slowing down a bit this winter. And like I said earlier, I'm still going to be bringing plants in, just not as much. Good morning. It's actually the next day. I was going to film in here last night, but when I was getting my water and I came in here to do a little bit of watering, it got so dark and I can't really film in here when it's dark. Like my camera doesn't like it. And I had so much to water and everything in here. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to come back in the next morning and film for you guys in here and give you an update. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get this flipped around and I'll show you how everyone's doing in here. It's very crowded. I have the table with the Monsteras and I have another table and I have a chair in here. So I'm going to work around that, but I'll go ahead and give you an overview in here. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful sunny day, which is exciting. I have this grow light off just so it's not extremely bright in here. It's either too bright in here or too dark in this room. It can't be like either or. But yeah, I have this little table here that I work on all the time. And then I was going to get rid of this chair because I replaced the other one, but I decided to just leave it in here and I'll just use that with the little table. But once the Monsteras, once those are out of here, you know, that will get out of here, that longer table. But it's kind of taking up majority of the room in here. So I have that kind of in the center. I do have some supplies back this way, that yellow acrobar. And then I have some cabinet supplies when I was working on the Hoya area. So I need to figure out what I need to get the green Rhodesta back up and running, and then I'll get that organized and put back in the closet. It's kind of a hot mess in there, so we're not going to open that door. But my Milspo here, I'm actually going to be redoing it very soon. I will take a day this month to get the wire shelving switched out. I've had that same shelving in here for years, ever since I set the cabinet up. And one of the shelves is like I think it opens in the center, so I'll have room for some taller plants. Ideally, I would love to get these back in there, but honestly, I don't know if they're going to fit. I'll have to see because yeah, these guys up here are actually getting super tall. This is my Venom, and then I had repotted my Bambinos and they kind of shocked a little bit. They've lost a ton of leaves. And then I actually just moved this guy in here last night. This is the Aria Shan. So I just put this one here on the shelf for now. But yeah, the Bambinos should hopefully bounce back. They actually had a little bit of root rot, but they lost so many leaves. They were so full. But the Venom is growing like crazy. It's just massive. It's actually at the top of the light. So I may just have to leave the Venom and leave these two alocasia out because it is pretty full. I have my pink black velvets. So the one in the back is my mother plant, and you see she's growing all pink. So I may have to behead her. And then this is one of her corms, which has a nice array of color. I think the newest one is more pink though, so hopefully this one doesn't go full elbow either, because that would be sad. I'm glad I did start a second plant of her though. And you guys saw me repot this pink maculata recently. Oh, I wanted to show you the newest leaf on this vine is coming in, and it has a lot of pink on it. But I was really excited to see that pink on that. Right there, it's so pretty. I don't think I've shown my philodendron patriciae in a while. I got this one as like a tiny little plant, and it's actually grown some pretty large leaves. I think this is the latest one here, and it's working on a new one. So my plan with this one was to put it on top of my IKEA cabinet because I really like the look of the patriciae. Even though it's another big philodendron, and I did downsize quite a bit of philodendron, I just really like the longer leaves on this one. And then of course this is my pink poly. It's doing very well. I need to upsize that one, and then I need to upsize my other Amazonica. This one here needs to be upsized because we upsized this one and it's growing like crazy. It's huge. And then this one here put out, I think, a new leaf back here, this one. And then down here I have some of my rare alocasias. I have this tissue culture pink capria here. That's the newest leaf. I have my Albo Maharani. And then I have a few corms. I have some pink mint capria corms. These were from tissue culture, so I don't know how they're going to do. Those, the first round that I took from my plant rotted, and then I ended up beheading it actually recently because I just didn't like the way that it was growing. So I'm hopeful that these are sprouting. Actually, the one back there looks like it's sprouting. And then these are some pink Chan corms. I have her right here. Hopefully this one does okay. So I have the pink one and then the Aria that I brought in. This one is my pink Thai Amazonica. I have like one full Albo leaf and then an all green one and a half moon. It's so interesting. I have all three colors. And then I have one of my it's like a mint ghosty poly. This was one of my corm restarts. This one's looking very minty, which I really like. So that one's cool. This one's actually getting a little too tall, so I'll have to move him up soon. So that's currently what's living in here. I feel like I'm always rearranging this cabinet, but I'm excited to get the shelving switched over because I really like the wire. I just need more room. I need like another opening so some taller plants can actually fit in here. Go ahead and shut that back. And yeah, I just don't know what to do with these big Amazonicas. They're not really getting a ton of light over here. I mean, they seem to be doing okay. I've had them out of the cabinet for about a month. They're kind of just like right up against the cabinet like that. But they are beautiful. And then up top, I just have two alocasia that barely get any light. Definitely low light, but they seem to be doing okay. This one lost a leaf, but it pushed out a new leaf. And this one's actually growing. That's the most leaves I've had on it. Then I have water in here for my ladybugs. And then I actually have some insecticidal soap because my Micholitziana will not stop getting spider mites. She's right back here. I actually had just ordered beneficials and put them all over her, and I thought they were going to take care of the problem this time, but I don't know if the spider mites are just, I guess they just keep rehatching and they keep spreading. It's the only plant in here that has spider mites. No other plant in here has spider mites. Even like El Choco being right next to her and my other plants being right, like my Monstera tie down there that I've restarted is touching Micheliciana, but it's the only plant that has spider mites. So I put a towel down here last night because I had just sprayed her. I was hoping the beneficials, the mites would work, but I'm really sad. I don't know why that keeps happening. I would really love to get her out and like in the shower so I could give her a good hose down, but she's so large, it's really hard to get these big plants out of here. So I might just have to come in and like spray her a couple times a week and hopefully I can just get rid of them. She looks nice from afar, but up close she has a ton of spider mite damage. And my Monstera tie back there put out its first leaf down there on the bottom, you can see. I had switched that over to Pawn. And then my big El Choco is looking a bit sad because it will not stop blooming. I don't think I've gotten any new leaves on this plant all year. I actually just had another like 3 blooms on it come in. And yeah, it just will not stop blooming. I think I've had a total of maybe 15 or so blooms on this plant. I do think I want to chop her back. Like the stem is pretty tall, especially because she keeps blooming. So I feel like it's just putting a lot of stress on this plant, maintaining those blooms, and she's gotten super crispy because of that, which is kind of sad, but I don't know how to stop her from blooming. I've enjoyed growing her and I've liked, you know, that she's gotten to be this size. I love my El Choco, but I've fallen out of love with philodendron, like these big massive leaves. Yeah, it's so cool having these big plants and these big leaves. I just don't have room for all these big plants in here. Like I really love all of my Monsteras, and you guys, I don't know if you guys have seen, yeah, I put my big Albo back in this corner. This is where Adansonia used to be. Can you believe I had this thing at the window? I had her sitting like right here and she was all the way up at the ceiling. But I like her so much better back in this corner. I feel like it's the perfect spot because I have a forward light and then a light up top for her. I have 2 vines. This one grows more white. This is a new leaf, and then the other one grows more green with a little bit of variegation. But she has a good mix of colors. I really like the mix of her. It's like I get my regular Deliciosa and I get my Albo. She's in Pawn. She may eventually need an upsize because I think I have her in a 9x8 maybe, or a 10x11. Actually, I think that's a 10x11. She does dry out pretty quickly in here, but she is beautiful. She is my prized Monstera Albo. And then my other Albo, because I did cut back the rest of them, is right here. This one is my sentimental one. This one's a lot more white. This one was a restart from my original plant my husband got me back in the day. You can see how pretty and white she is. She's so pretty. It's hard to see now with the sun coming in. I actually have a new second vine down here starting that's doing some half moons. And then the Albo in my shop room is doing half moons, so I'm keeping that one as well. I want her to grow more, but I feel like I'm eventually going to chop her back. And this one I probably won't chop back anytime soon because she's gotten really big and she has plenty of room that she can continue growing, but eventually I'm probably gonna have to chop her some. This is my other Monstera Aria. I was thinking about chopping this all the way back, but I'm gonna hold off now because I have so many Monstera cuttings. This one is very pretty. It's more variegated than my original one that I had. It's a new leaf. So that one's doing well. And then my top cutting of my big one, you guys know I chopped it back recently. I actually had to take it out and stick it in water because it had started to rot. Like all the variegated parts started to brown. I don't think I'm going to do any more air layers because I think what happened in the video, you guys saw I accidentally ripped the root system because it got so matted together in the moss because I waited too long. And I had stuck it in here hoping it would continue to root, but I guess I just starved it of oxygen. I don't really know what happened, but it was rotting. So I feel like the top cut's going to do okay. Once it grows roots, I will pot it back into here. But I was sad to lose the top cut I mean, I technically didn't lose it, but I was sad to lose all those pretty leaves. All of her babies are here on the table. I have so many Monstera Aria props, and then I have like 2 or 3 elbow plants here. I have so many props, it is insane. And then I have more props in the shop room. So one of these I will eventually like restart another Monstera Aria. If that top cutting doesn't do well, if it ends up, I don't think it would rot, but if it does, I will restart one of these from the original plant. But yeah, there's so many props. I had to change all the water vessels last night too. A lot of them are starting to root and push their growth points, but some of these leaves, you know, have gotten kind of, some of the leaves are pretty, but some of the other leaves are kind of like brown and they're just kind of old leaves on the plant. So I'll probably end up getting rid of the original leaves. I might actually pot some of these up and just cut the original leaf off. Like this leaf doesn't look that pretty. So I'll probably just pot this as a wet stick node. That way I can actually cut the leaf off and actually store the pot the plant, like the node up, and then I can move them into the shop room because these leaves take up a lot of room in here. I probably shouldn't have cut so many at once, but that's okay. Next time I won't do that. I'll definitely space it out. And then yeah, the only other plants in this back corner are my Syndapsis. I have my big Exotica, my Jade Satin, and then I have the variegated one up there. And then I have my string of hearts I had moved and a little philodendron Gabby. They're getting unruly again. I'm gonna have to chop those again soon. Oh yeah, and then I have my Monstera adansonii. That's my original plant. And then I have the variegated one. So this one's doing a lot better. Like this one isn't yellow like my other one. But I think what I might do, since it's off that little stake, I might actually pot these together and create like a Monstera adansonii. I don't know. I feel like I want to repot them and style them in a way where I can trail it up and down and have like a full pot. The big plants just kind of take over, so I have to pick and choose which ones I want to actually let grow. My Monstera Flame put out a new leaf. This is the biggest leaf that I have on it with those fenestrations. So since I don't think I want to do an air layer anymore, ignore my husband's blow-ups out there. He's actually on his way home this morning. He's going to take all that stuff down. I think what I'll do is just chop it and stick it in water, let it get just a little bit of water roots, then I'll pot it into pond. And then the rest of the plant I'm going to completely chop up and make a bunch of smaller plants with that. I don't think I'm going to do an air layer. I think I'll just chop and water prop. And then I have my big pink nobilis. I actually chopped a leaf on it off yesterday. This is the newest one. It's variegated, it's just hard to see. This one doesn't grow as quickly because it's been blooming. It's got a bloom on it that has been taking away the energy on this plant. It does have a new growth spike, I think, right here. But yeah, this is like the 3rd or 4th bloom on that one. I have one of my pink princesses down there. The other one is over there, and I'll go over there and show you. This is one of the Regal Shields Albo, and then the other one that I have is in my shop room. This one isn't corming yet. I have this one in soil, whereas the other one I had restarted back in pond. Hi, Ladybug. Well, I shouldn't say soil, it's like tree fern and perlite pretty much, which it seems to really like. It's rooting very well. I just don't think it's corming yet, which is okay. I do have my varicosum back there, which I might downsize. I think someone had asked if I still had it, and I do. I don't think I'm going to try and restart it back on like a coco coir pole or anything. I love philodendron varicosum, but again, it's just, I think I am moving on from philodendron. I still like some varieties. I just don't want them to get huge and take over. And this is my philodendron gigas. It had gotten huge. Like, look at the size of that leaf. So I didn't want to get rid of this top cutting. So I kept this part, but I don't know if I'm going to restart this or not. I had chopped up the rest of the plant. Actually, the nodes are in here. I chopped up 3 philodendron. I chopped up the gigas. I chopped my Glorious. You guys didn't see that. I chopped my Glorious that was back there, and I also chopped Majestic. I kept Sorderoy because that one's doing very well. I'll probably keep Sorderoy growing because I do like the silver on that philodendron. It just gets very sappy, so I have to make sure I clean that one often. But yeah, I just chopped up a bunch of philodendron that I don't think I'm going to grow anymore. I have a halo micans here that gets very unruly. And then my trio star, I actually might move into my bedroom because it gets kind of crispy in here. I think it just dries out and it's very warm in here. I do feel like it would appreciate the bedroom where my other ones are, so I'm probably going to move that in there. I have my silver sword over here. I had moved it to this spot from the other shelf. So I'll let this grow and I will chop that back. And then I have this is my OG strawberry shake that I don't know if I'm going to keep or not. I had this, this grew back from a wet stick. I thought I had completely gotten rid of this plant, but it does have really good color, so I may hang on to it. And then I had beheaded those two alocasia, my pink mint capria tissue culture, and then this is one of my fried eggs. And this little terrarium is doing good here. This Drosera had gone dormant and then it started growing back. I love this one in the front with the little sunflowers on the end. But that one I had just filled up. It was kind of dry last night. And then this is my other begonia terrarium. I had taken some cuttings because this one completely died. That one there had completely died in my bigger terrarium. So I'm glad I took clippings because it's actually growing in here. I just have some sphagnum moss. And then I took some clippings of the other one that needs higher humidity. So I'm going to redo that terrarium at some point. I just struggle with begonias in higher humidity. We'll put the lid back on that. Here's the terrarium. This one I think I'm going to take out because it's taking over, but the one that was back there that I showed you had died all the way. This one, I cut back, that's in there, and then I have another piece of it back there. I mean, so overall it's doing okay. I just feel like some of them aren't happy. It does dry out fairly quickly as well, so I don't really have it closed. I just kind of have this laying over top. So I don't know what I'm going to do with those begonias. I would like to get them all together, but if you guys have any advice or tips for me, let me know why it died back there. I have no idea. It is pretty humid. I would say it's over 90 in this little thing, even with this open and it vented up top. So I'm not sure why it didn't like it. I showed you those begonias recently. I had chopped those. And then I have a little butt cut of a Monstera alba down there. And then my Gloriosum, my type 2 variegated is down there. I have another little frydek here. And then my micans, I actually think I might chop it. I had overwatered it one time and it lost several leaves along the vine here. But I think I might actually chop it and take it off the wall and extend this pole, and then I'll just wrap it around the pole. That was my original plan, and then it started overgrowing and then I attached it to the wall. But because I overwatered it and it dropped leaves, now I can actually chop it back a little bit. And I have my original marble queen there, and then my Cebu blue there. It actually started growing a runner. I had chopped it, the top of it right there. So it may activate a couple lower nodes, but yeah, the runner was all the way up here to the wall. Look at all those ladybugs. They're just chilling. Do you see them all? They're exploring. Here's my mint tissue culture. It hasn't really grown much over here. Well, I feel like the tissue culture is just extremely slow and it's kind of all green pretty much now. My other one that was at the window, I actually chopped it all the way up, so I have some nodes growing, but I think I might do the same thing with this. I think I might just chop the plant up because I do have my big, my big jungle mint. It is taking over, and then I have my beautiful full mint one. This is the newest leaf. It is so pretty and minty. She's so pretty. So the jungle mint's newest leaf, it still has variegation here, but it's definitely not as minty as some of the bottom leaves. I'll have to get her anchored back on. I did extend her, so what I might do is let her grow a couple more leaves, and then I'll probably go ahead and chop her. I just don't want to chop her yet because I have all these other monstera props to take care of, and I don't want to be overrun with propagations. But she's getting kind of big. I do feel like I need to kind of tame her. And hopefully once I chop, I'll get some of the pretty variegation back that was at the bottom there. And then Mandula is back there, and it's growing really well. It is maintaining some pretty big size leaves here. I probably need to extend it soon. Yeah, she's really, really pretty. And the only thing that's really over here, so I really need to maintain this shelf. It's kind of a little bit chaotic. My big tortum up top needs to be repotted. It's taking over. My heterophylla had a little bit of a setback, so it's kind of regrowing. I have the bottom cut of my elbow regal shields. I have a couple of syngonium that I probably need to chop. And then these two alocasia I think need to be repotted, especially my caprea. I had chopped some leaves away on it just to maintain it because it was growing crazy. But I do need to really repot that one. I have my chia pent syngonium here, my variegated one. This cutting here, it was supposed to be a top cutting, and then I was going to replant it, but it decided to grow pretty much all white. And then I have the bottom here that's pretty much growing all green. So I think I'm just going to chop them both and restart this plant again. My beautiful Thanksgiving cactus. I wonder if it's going to bloom for me. I have no idea what the flowers look like on this one because I got this as a small little like 3-leaf plant like that, and it's grown all of this. And then I have the variegated one here. So this one's still pushing out a lot of new leaves. So I don't know when this one would bloom, but hopefully I get some bloom spikes on this one here soon. I think I'm going to be downsizing these plants. That's my original Florida Ghost that is growing back, but I'm going to keep the other baby that I showed you and get rid of that. And then this is the Paraiso Verde that I found at my grocery store. It reverted. But it's another philodendron, and I don't really want to keep that, so I'm going to be letting that go. And then I think my original black velvet and Maharani, they just gotten so big. I have chopped some leaves away on it, and this one is crispy. I haven't decided fully yet if I want to get rid of the alocasias, but because I have the variegated ones now, I might be looking at letting the original ones go, but I'm not sure yet. The Florida Beauty I may end up propping back as well. One side was kept spitting out all white leaves, like all yellow, and then this side is reverted. So I may just like chop it all the way back. And then I'm going to be chopping my Red Anderson here soon too. This is the bigger one, and I have some really pretty leaves, but it's getting kind of tall. So I might chop that one. And then here's my other pink princess growing back. And then I have a Monstera Lechleriana variegated back there that I'm going to be getting rid of as well, just to downsize it because I don't really want that plant in my collection anymore. Caramel Marble is right here. She is beautiful. She's growing so much. I have a new leaf here, and then it just gave me that leaf right there. I feel like she's grown so much in the time I've had her. I think I've had her just over a year, which is crazy. And she's like directly under a grow light, so she gets a little extra. But I love that plant. I'm eventually going to have to chop her back and prop her, I think, but she's not like overly big, and plus I really love her, so I don't mind if she gets a little bit bigger. But again, I have to pick and choose my plants, which ones I actually want to mature and which ones I want to keep smaller. Because yeah, the space is limited in here. I like having a pretty large collection and a lot of variety, but I really do need to tame my collection in order to keep up with everything. And I just have to figure out what's actually going to, what I want to keep long term, what's going to prop well and grow well for me, that I can continually like focus on that and not have like an overwhelming amount of plants to care for in my collection. I still feel like I have too many, so I'm looking forward to kind of taming that back a little this winter, and then bring in plants that I feel like I'm excited about growing and I feel like that will do well for my shop and that people are wanting. So that's my goal for this winter, is to tame what I have and only bring in new plants that I want to try growing and that I feel like will do well for me. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me. I'm not sure when this video is going up, but whenever you're watching this, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you again soon.